can you solve this coding challenge? It's called Move Zeros from Leetcode.com. And it goes as such: given an integer array nums, move all the zeros to the end of it while maintaining a relative order of the non-zero elements. Note that you must do this in place without making another copy of an array, which I think just means you can't use another array. You can't have this extra array that you use to do some work with to solve this problem. So here's an example here of nums, integer array 0, 1, 0, 3, 12. And then if you see here, the 1, 3, and 12 get moved to the front and the zeros get put at the end. And yeah, that's how it goes. So how would you solve this problem? When I think about how to solve it, I think of being able to do this in place. You need to find a way to swap the non-zero characters with the zero characters. You need some sort of algorithm that'll allow you to do that without making a copy of the array or making a whole new array where you just build the new array with the numbers in it. That's not an option based on this, what it says in the problem here. So how would you do that? So I've already pre-done the problem. How you would do this is, first you want to keep track of a index called swap index. This will let you know, or this will keep track of where you need to swap numbers. Like I said before, to solve this problem, you want to swap the non-zeros to the front of the array so that the zeros get moved to the back. And so the next step is you want to loop through the array, which is nums that got passed in here, and your iterator can be I or it can be current index, like I named it here. And if the current number that you're on while you're looping is not equal to 0, what you want to do is then swap that number with the swap index that you keeping track of up here. When you do that, when you swap that number, so let's say we get to our first non-zero in the loop. That's how our logic is written. It's going to swap this 1 with the swap index, which is currently at 0. It's at the first place in the array. And then when we get to our next non-zero, it's going to swap it with this place. But remember, this place already got swapped with 0. So now you have your 1 and 3 in the front, and you have your 2 zeros that are at the end. So basically, if you keep doing that logic as you loop through, you'll eventually get to a place where you've moved all the zeros up to the front. The last thing you want to do after you do this swapping logic here, which this is all this is just creating a temporary variable, swapping, taking the number you have, putting it in a temp variable, setting it equal to the one you want to swap with, and then setting the current variable to the temp variable that you stored. The last thing you want to do is increment the swap index to make it +1 so that you swap with the next place in line at the start of the array. And you only do that if the current number you're on is not a 0. And then after that, you return the same array that got passed in the function, because the problem asks you not to make an extra array. It tells you to do this operation in place and return the same array. And so basically when you do this, you're done. This problem should work. The time complexity is big O of n, because in reference to our size of our input, it's called that nums length. It's called that n. You're only doing n operations if n is the size of the array. And then space complexity, like the problem told, is not to use any extra space as it relates to the size of the input. So the space complexity in big O notation would be a big O of 1 or constant space. And so if we run this, see if we can run it up here. Run it, we get both cases accepted. We get all the numbers moved to the front and the zeros moved to the back. So that worked. Let me know if you have any questions. Please like, subscribe, share this video if you found it helpful, comment if you can think of a better solution or more optimal solution. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. See you in the next one.